Now, I want to take a few minutes to talk about the concept of affirmative action. It's a term that arouses a lot of emotions in people, and it means different things to when different people think about it. It's changed as the law has changed and evolved, and as new Supreme Court decisions have been handed down. To opponents, affirmative action means reverse discrimination, but to advocates, it means to remedy the effects of past discrimination. Essentially, it's the concept of taking proactive steps to remedy continuing structural discrimination. Usually this involves making efforts to recruit protected groups to apply to the pools for jobs where they're underrepresented based on their proportion in the general population, and to get them aware and encourage them to apply for jobs. The concept is often very nebulous and very non-specific. I want to note particularly one critical Supreme Court decision, Griggs versus Duke Power from 1971, because one of the key concepts that arose out of this decision was what is called disparate impact, as opposed to intent. Disparate just means different impacts. What this was about was the fact that organizational policies can be discriminatory even if they look neutral on the surface. If they result in excluding or limiting a protected group, they can still be found to have a discriminatory impact. No one individual has to be proven to have made a discriminatory decision if the organizational policies have the impact of group exclusion or limitation. The issue is impact over intention. Does this policy result in the exclusion or marginalization of the rights of a protected group? Now, let's be clear here. The concept of discrimination in the abstract is not wrong in and of itself, because discrimination simply means to distinguish between things or people. Discriminating is the ability to make a judgment. We want people with a discriminating eye, with an ability to judge between qualities. However, if that discrimination or choice is based on personal characteristics unrelated to job performance, then it's bad management based on personal prejudice. And if it's based on personal characteristics that are protected by law, the action's not just bad management, it's illegal. Sometimes discrimination, even impacting protected classes, can be acceptable when the discrimination relates to specific job responsibilities. There's an HR term called bona fide occupational qualification, or BFOQ. If a personal characteristic is required for the best performance of a job, it can be used as a factor for discriminating even of protected categories. So for instance, if a job reasonably requires lifting weights of 75 pounds or more in general in their daily activities, you can make that a requirement even if it has a disparate impact on women. That will be legal only if it's truly a bona fide occupational qualification. This could also be a factor for limiting how tall or heavy someone could be in a job. I recall when they used to have restrictions on astronauts that they couldn't be taller than, I think it was 5'10" or something. But it's only true if it's required for the job. It could be a reason for excluding men as house managers for a battered women's center because of a bona fide need to have women dealing with women who've been abused by men. So this is called BFOQ.